You think of some of the countries that we've been in, some of the unrest that would happen there. And
we don't give up. We don't run away when somebody invades a country.
You talk to a lot of the guys in ARI, you'll see some commonality in terms of where they've been and probably in terms of the stories as well. So we've all done Russia in various degrees.
I would have to say I enjoyed Russia immensely. In my case, as Director of Finance, I had to go and open bank accounts with the Vnesheikon Bank. What happened there? The whole board of directors of the Vnesheikon Bank came down to the boardroom to meet the foreigner who wants to open a bank account. I'm not sure I'd get that now in the Bank of Ireland or AIB.
I remember being sent up to a place called Viborg, where we had our own Indiana Jones, Mr. Michael Cashin, running at the time. It was real frontier land. It's actually in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a forest. And sat down to do my questions with Mr. Cashin, and I came to the section under cash in transit and what were his facilities for securely moving cash, expecting to hear about Group 4 and such like, and armoured vans and everything. So he said, well, we have a car that comes from Finland. I think it's called a muscle car. It's a very fast car. It's a sports car. It comes in here at 12 o'clock every day. And two lads get out and they bring our money to Finland. You see them here at 12 o'clock. Sure as God, 12 o'clock. Big Corvette pulls up and off they head to Finland with the money and safely lodged.
I should have kept a journal there and written a book, but the one that sticks out was obviously the time when they froze our bank accounts and we had huge amounts of money amassing over there.
Took all of the files out of the filing cabinet and filled up drawer number 1 with cash, drawer number 2 with cash.
We had $8, 9, $10 million dollars in cash, and it was a very nasty situation.
We collected money in Moscow, we collected money in St. Petersburg. We had chartered a Tupolev 134. That flew from Moscow to St. Petersburg. In the meantime, we were in Viborg. There's no airport in Viborg. We decided we'd charter some helicopters. We decided that the pilots should not know what we were doing. So we had one guy, one of our managers, dressed up in a suit, carrying an empty briefcase. And we all went over shaking his hand and wishing him well and treating him as a big chief who had arrived from head office. We wanted to distract the pilots so they had no idea what we were actually doing, which was filling the back of the airplane with money.
Look, we had lots of tricky situations, but I think the most important thing was that our people came first. Money, business was never put in the way of safety for people, taking care of people, looking after them, make sure their families were okay. So we had many tricky situations. I mean, we had the coup in Russia, we had wars, not one war, wars in the Middle East.
I remember we had some trouble in Beirut one time, and there was a curfew imposed on everyone, and we were told by the staff that there was snipers on the bridges on the way home. And Tom Byrne had only been in the country a few weeks, and I was driving him from and to work. But this particular day, he said, I'm a better driver than you, so I'll drive today if you don't mind, so if any trouble happens I can put my foot down.
I suggested to Kieran that I would drive home. I told him at the time that it was because I was the better driver, but really my rationale was that if the sniper was going to shoot anybody, it would be probably the more important person and not the chauffeur.
And I said, yeah, fire ahead, Tom, because I knew if a sniper's going to shoot someone, he's going to shoot the driver. So that was quite funny.
Certainly being Irish and being an Irish company has been an advantage over the years, and a lot of countries we've worked in being a state company as well.
You'd be no threat in many of these environments, and in different parts of the world people have a great understanding of who the Irish are.
I don't care what anybody says, but we have a happy knack of getting on with people, and we've also a happy knack, which is very important in the environment we're in, of not getting down on ourselves when we have serious issues in front of us, our problems to overcome.
I think yes, people did blossom, given that freedom and given the authority to go out and make decisions and do things on the ground. Their true value and skills were exposed.
And moving from place to place isn't easy, and many of my ARI colleagues have done it time and time again. I think myself in 20 years with ARI have probably lived in, I think, 7 or 8 locations. For me, it was made a bit easier because my family stayed at home in the UK the whole time and didn't travel with me, which meant that, a drop of a hat I could pick up and go somewhere else. For others, moving the family, children, obviously much more difficult.
The biggest significant thing for me in all the experiences I had was the teamwork. We had guys in very difficult places like Syria, the situation in Syria now, in Lebanon. We have guys in Lebanon right now over there, Egypt, which was never that easy to work in, and then the Gulf countries. And then I met this unbelievable character, and I'm sure he'll be at the dinner, Abdullah Buhindi. And this man has been the biggest influence in my lifetime on me. And Abdullah was a great guy, and we became friends. When ARI International Middle East was set up in 1993, this is the 20th anniversary of ARI Middle East, it was something we dreamed about doing. The idea came from Abdullah Buhindi and the guys in Shannon, and I got tasked with the job of doing it. And just before I left, it was touching $1 billion turnover, a tremendous success story, but not mine. I just happened to be the boss. It was definitely a team effort.
Trust in many different forms, trust that we were a trusting organisation that behaved honestly, and also that we trusted people to deliver and do what they were supposed to do. And I think that came together to form really lasting, strong relationships and partnerships.
Communications has changed hugely in the 20 years. I remember going my first assignment in Pakistan. We had to book telephone calls.
I remember in Pakistan one day, coming home at 10 o'clock at night or something like that, the phone ringing, and my mother being on the line, and chatting away to her about 10 minutes, having a great old chat. I said, how did you find my number? I said, I didn't call you. I'd placed a call 2 days earlier trying to get through to her, because you had to place a call. You couldn't just direct dial.
I don't think it's any different now. We have a team going down to Mumbai. They're going to be challenged, and I expect and I wish them luck. In fact, I'd love to be with them. But they will have challenges, and I have no doubt they'll overcome those challenges.
Imagine having a job for 30 years where you love getting up every day and going to work. Not many people can say that. I loved every single day.
It's amazing about people you bump into, and they do tend to reminisce a lot, especially over a few pints, and the stories come out, and it's like a family in some ways, and maybe a bit more like the mafia actually, because you never actually leave.